Welcome into the Boardroom podcast. I'm Ward 6 Alderman Ben Piper.
I'm Ward 4 Alderman Chad Wicker. What's going on, Ben?
Man, it has been a minute since we've been here on these podcast airwaves, but we're back.
The public demanded it.
They were like, "What's going on with you guys? Are y'all still even aldermen? Like, what's?"
Well, we had fall break at the 1st of October,
yeah.
So we missed that meeting, and then I know I've been crazy. You've got a lot of stuff going on.
We've been some busy folks here this last little bit. We'll dive into that, but first and foremost, huge news.
What's that?
Big news, right? It's Friday, November 7th.
Yep.
Let me tell you something.
Let me look at my Granger calendar here. Make sure that's right. That's right.
Watch this. The Hernando Tigers football team has made the playoffs.
They won last night, correct?
Won last night, beat South Haven. What do they say? That nobody was anybody get the belts out and start slapping the belts like they do at the Ole Miss game. 31-17, the Hernando Tigers, big win for them. We haven't talked enough about their efforts, Coach McCann's efforts. We did a little early on in the year. They started out really strong. They beat Horn Lake along the way. Played really, really tough this year. Got the win over Lewisburg, and then last night got the win over South Haven for their third district win to finish 3-2. So they will now travel. This is what I understand now. They will now travel 1 hour down the road to Oxford.
Oh, that's a big
for
game.
The first round of the playoffs and play Lane Kiffin's son, who's the starting quarterback at Oxford. And I think the running backs coach, Kevin Smith Jr., is on the high school football team too.
So they
got some
team,
talented. They got some talented kids down there. 9-1, but their one loss came to Tupelo by a touchdown. Hernando lost to Tupelo by a couple touchdowns, and maybe a little bit more than that. But it could be a good game. You never. It's playoffs now. Playoffs things get crazy.
I may try to make that.
Things get crazy.
I'm planning on going to the Florida game, Ole Miss game, so we may maybe go down.
Just stay down there. Try to find. I'm sure you can find a hotel room in Oxford.
Cheap. I mean, very cheap, probably $65, $75.
Yeah, probably something like that. But they, so that will be going on. That's huge for those kids. That senior class, first playoff appearance they've made since they've been in high school. So just a great accomplishment for that group. Coach McCann, congratulations. That's a big deal. It's a big deal,
Oh, yeah, man.
It's a lot of hard work.
Hernando's always, over the last probably 5 or 10 years, has had some decent teams, but never, I think, got to the, the pinnacle there. We've done very well in soccer and baseball and softball, so it's good to see football getting some attention. And we just started basketball season, too, so I think the basketball team's going to be okay. So.
Basketball's up and running. I know the girls' team logged a win for sure, and I don't know about the boys' team, though. I didn't check that one. But the girls' team got a win
I know for a
game.
fact that the middle school team beat Oxford. The boys' team, I think, 2-1, 3-1.
In soccer?
In soccer last night I was there. And then the girls' team, I left and it was 2-0. So that's halftime.
Man, so that was the one. We got there after halftime.
Yeah, so we just missed
my daughter played, they had a basketball game against South Haven.
Mm-hmm.
She finished that, changed real quick, ran over to the locker room for soccer to get ready for the second half. And
like Deion Sanders, man.
Oxford just about came back.
Did they?
But Hernando beat them in penalty kicks.
Oh, okay. So it's a good game.
Won, and really good games. We're getting to that time of life. If you are a parent of a student athlete, it gets pretty busy this time of year because you got multiple sports going on and all kind of stuff flying around. But it's a fun time. It's fun time. It's good to stay busy. But yeah, we had you mentioned fall break. It was good I know my family, we got out of town for a little bit and just had a little beach vacation. Had a real good time and just good time to kind of unplug for a little bit. And I've told several people this, like when I go, I turn my phones off. Basically, I don't even hardly look at them.
You unplug it, huh?
Yeah, we unplug it. So it was good to have some time as a family. It was great. Had the month of October was fairly quiet. I think from the city standpoint, we can talk more about.
Yeah, there were some things there. I think we appointed a public works director, Ben, and I think the big thing from that meeting that we missed, and we were available if we needed to, but we didn't think there was anything too pressing there. Had the Water Tower 10K half marathon since our last episode.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was.
We completed it.
We did.
I completed the 10K. You completed the half marathon.
Yeah, I did. I think it's no secret that Austin our city planner was struck by a vehicle while he was participating in the race.
He's
best
on
wishes
he's
to
on the
him.
mend. He's on the mend.
Yeah,
He's doing good. And he took some time off, and I think he's back at it now. So he took some time off and doing better.
So that's kind of what I think you got the agendas for the last couple meetings if you want to see some hot points. But again, it's that after we set our budget, Ben, it's kind of a lull until the first of the year, typically, unless there's some other things going on.
Yeah, it is kind of a lull. It's been fairly quiet on that from that standpoint. But before we jump into the city meetings, let's jump into local election coverage.
Yes. You had the legislative special elections.
So we had some
in Mississippi
special redistricting elections. So just as a refresher, there was basically a lawsuit filed by NAACP regarding the gerrymandering of
what they consider
districts.
gerrymandering of certain state senate districts and I think a couple House districts throughout the state that they felt like should have a larger majority. A minority population, and so long story short, we've talked about this. There was some court, they argued in court. There were some appeals, and finally they settled on some new districts which require a new election. So those elections, we had a primary back in August, and then this is the finale of that, the general election, and we had some results. You want to tell us what we got?
Yeah, so in Senate District 1, so this covers all of Hernando, incumbent Senator Mike McClendon won in a landslide 72-28 election over Chris Hanna, the Democrat, in that race. So congrats to Senator McClendon. We look forward to continuing to work with you as we continue to go back to Jackson and work during those legislative sessions. In Senate District 2, so David Parker did not seek re-election in that district. It was a redrawn district. It's one of those ones that that this lawsuit sort of created. Mm-hmm. I do not want to mispronounce this person's name. Teresa Isom.
I believe it's Isom.
Democrat beat a challenge from Charlie Hoots, who's the Republican, in a 63-37.
Yeah, he's also a South Haven City Alderman.
He's a South Haven City Alderman. He's been serving in that role for quite a while. Senate District 11. The incumbent state senator was Reginald Jackson, who's a Democrat.
From Marks.
He retained his seat. 67-33 over Kendall Pruitt. Now, Mr. Pruitt was the Republican there, and he did win DeSoto County, the number of votes there, but the Delta counties that are in this Senate district were heavily in Mr. Jackson's favor, and so that really swung the outcome of the election there. In Senate District 19, incumbent state senator Kevin Blackwell retained his seat 53-47 over Diane Black, the Democrat challenger in that race. So that one was really the closest race there, Senator Blackwell and his challenger, but he was able to make that happen. But it's a very, we try to stay away from some of the partisan politics in this podcast, and we try to just kind of keep with the facts. But I think the fact that you can see from these numbers is that the Democrat Party was very well organized in getting some people out to the polls. The overall voter turnout was very low, under 20%. I think it was, 15-17%?
I think 15% in the city, DeSoto County.
And so when you look at that, you got 130,000 registered voters or so in DeSoto County. If you have 20% or 20,000 that turn out, that could be very different from if you have 80,000 people vote or 70,000 people vote, like sometimes you see in presidential elections when you see, a Donald Trump or a state or a U.S. senator get 60-70% of the vote countywide. Well, these numbers aren't representative of that. So it's definitely just food for thought. There's definitely a lot of talking about it right now. And, I would say get involved in the county party. I've done it. I've been part of the Republican Executive Committee previously with the county for a few years. There are really good people there that want to get new people there that have ideas and energy and all the things. If you are, it does not matter how old you are. It just matters if you have time and effort and a willingness to work, because that's what campaigns are. They're work. It's not about necessarily just can you fundraise and can you raise $1 million or something like that. It's about, are you going to get out and do the work and make it happen. And so there's some work to be done if you're a Republican in DeSoto County, though, I think.
Well, I think the political landscape is changing a little bit. I think there's some that's no secret. I think that's been happening. That we've seen last year in the municipal elections, we had the city of Horn Lake elect basically 5 or 6, I guess count the mayor, be 6 Democratic members, which is, there's no secret. DeSoto County's long been a Republican stronghold, so I think that some of that is changing. But I've seen some posts on social media about I call it bedwetting. Oh, it's the place is over with. We need to move or whatever. The fact of the matter, Ben, is that the 2 districts that were won by Democrats were drawn by the court to be won by Democrats. So we shouldn't be too surprised that Democrats won those positions. Okay, they're majority population districts that were drawn by the court for the very purpose of electing minority candidates. That's just a fact of it. So we shouldn't be too surprised that that's occurring. Now, I do think we, as a party here, need to maybe change some of the things we do. Maybe we got a little stale, and maybe do things differently. But this is a very strong conservative county, and especially the city of Hernando. So.
Yeah, well, I would just say that, look, I think that this age of social media has got folks where you're just in this little bubble of friends that you have and everything else, and people don't necessarily know. I think when I grew up, when you grew up, you knew who all your neighbors were,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
You knew what was going on with folks and everything else, and I think we're just so much more confined to the 4 walls of our home, and whoever our old friends are that we've been friends with forever and all the stuff. Man, get out and talk with your neighbors, find out what their concerns are. If you're wanting to, make a change in this area, or you're wanting to affect change here, or if you're wanting to keep things the way they are, right? Either side of it, right? If you want one party or the other to do well, you've got to get out and talk to people and meet new people, because if it's just like, whether it's growing a business or growing a church or growing a political party, you gotta meet new people, or you're gonna wither up. So that's the challenge, I think, for politicians, political parties, everybody going forward. Make sure you're out there and meeting folks. Enough of that. Put that one to bed. Let's go back and look at some of these previous meetings. We have a lot to catch up on, but we did have a meeting on October 21st. We're way behind on this. The big things off of that was we do have a new phase of building that's going to be occurring right by the AWG.
New Age Logistics.
New Age Logistics is coming in. It's a 1-lot industrial plot there on 30 acres of land. So from what I understand, it's a company's moving here
From South Haven, I think,
from South Haven, and it's in the I think the sheet metal industry. And so there'll be kind of an industrial manufacturing and distribution site.
Yes.
It was already zoned that way, but it was just kind of like the final, the final plat approval for those folks coming in. It was kind of in that larger scale plan for
when
property
AWG
over
bought
there.
that property, they had the 2 outside parcels. There's another one also that I think they're actively marketing to get another kind of industrial place there. So I hadn't heard any option, but I know it's out. It's on the market out there.
So that will be coming. If you start to see any building going on out there, that is what that is. So it's not AWG expanding. It's another business that's coming in. We did ask the questions when we were in the meeting about, are there tax abatements that are coming that we don't know about? Is there a road that the city has to build? Are we on the hook for anything? The answer was no. There would have to be some kind of additional request on top of that. There's nothing in this yet, so that will be something to be looking out for. We also did, one of these community service awards. We do these from time to time, about 4 or 5 times a year. We gave a community service award at that meeting to James Ratliff, 25 years of experience with the Hernando Police Department. He is somebody that you have undoubtedly seen around the community.
Yes.
If he helps, cook hamburgers and hot dogs at the community events. He goes into the schools and talks about, being a police officer and why
Yeah.
you shouldn't be afraid of the police and come to us when you're scared and when you need stuff and tell us the truth and all that sort of thing. He has definitely been kind of a very public relations part of the.
He's been an anchor there. He's been there, like I said, 25 years. So he's been in the community, and a lot of people see him. I don't like Dickens of a Christmas. He always dresses up in the old police Bobby uniform or whatever. So
surely he's going to keep doing that.
I hope so. I hope so. But we wish him a happy retirement. 25 years in police work is hard. So God bless him.
We also had a couple new phases of Delta Landing. These are commercial phases for properties that will be going in there. One of which will be some kind of restaurant. I don't think it's been released yet.
You got two crazy fellows coming. We know that's been announced.
That one's going to be in the bottom floor of one of the multi-use buildings.
Mm-hmm. You're talking about a standalone building.
Yeah,
right?
These two commercial phases. One of them is a standalone building that'll be a restaurant. And
they sell cheese dip.
I've heard that that's possible. I've heard it's possible. So I can't, but I'm not 100% sure we can talk about it.
No, I don't
know. It is.
It's not I don't think the lease has been signed or anything. But.
Yeah, I don't think it's public yet, so we can't necessarily say on that one. But that is a possibility. You can ask the folks involved there if you really want to know. I'm sure it'll be coming out soon. We also had the passage and finalization of the synthetic drug ordinance, added the banning the kratom.
Yeah, so there's been some confusion I think out there on this. Is we've had a synthetic drug ordinance for some time. All we really did was add kratom and kratom-based products to what we already had. So I think we actually I guess you're going to talk about in just a second. We did the final. The final part of that at the meeting here on the 4th or 5th, whatever day that was, and so within 30 days from now, you will not be able to purchase kratom in the city limits of the city of Hernando.
Are you able to possess it? Or you're just not able to? Is it the sale, possession, distribution? I think that's what it is.
Yeah. I don't think you can have it. I don't think you can sell it. I don't think you can. We don't want it in Hernando.
And what it is ultimately, from what I can gather from the research we've done, it's a synthetic opioid. Is basically what it is.
Yes, and I think there is. And I will say, to be fair, there is a segment of the population I think that is pro kratom. I guess you would say they feel like it helps them get off.
Yeah, we've got a couple emails.
Yeah, the harder opioids like
Oxycontin,
and things like that. Heroin and things like that, the way you kind of get off of that stuff. So there is another side to it. However, I think I don't know about you, Ben, but at least what I think that is important is to protect our children. I know this is something very popular with children and young adults is to use kratom. It's easy to get. So
yeah, I mean it's
you can get all these vapes and things. My son, my son's in 8th grade. Your daughter's in 7th grade, so. They're always catching these younger kids with vapes in the schools and outside of schools at football games and stuff. So that is a big problem with that population.
Yeah, it is something that, heck, you only have one life. The good Lord only blesses you with one life, right? So you need to try to take care of yourself as best you can. But we live in America. You have the freedom to do what you want to do. If you want to eat bacon every meal, go for it. If you like to,
hey, I don't know if you saw on the news yesterday, but Dr. Oz said we're going to lose 135 billion pounds by the midterms, the American population.
Really?
That's what he said.
Wow.
They
okay.
I guess they have added, and I think is it Ozempic? Mm-hmm. And some of these other, I think, weight loss, what do you call it, shots or whatever, to where they can be purchased cheaper. And so that was his thing that they're going to. American population. I think he meant 135 million pounds, but he said billion. So, but
that's a lot of. Well, you got 300 million people in the United States. I mean, it's possible.
I think if you do the math, it's about 340 pounds a person. I don't think there's that much.
That would be a lot. I don't think. I mean,
but I think he meant million. I think he meant million, which would be like 30 pounds a person. So that's more realistic. But.
I mean, I think I definitely have quite a few pounds I could shed, so I definitely am in no place to talk about that. But, so Additionally, one of the things that we looked at and now we're moving on to our November 4th meeting, we entered into, well, no, we didn't. We tabled an agreement for the Parks and Recreation and Public Works Department to use a fleet tracking provider. We're digging deeper into that. I think some of the aldermen had questions around, like, why is this not more widespread? Why don't we do it across more assets? There's a number of ways you can track assets.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I
It's
think
not just this.
The police department, ever since they went with the computers in their vehicles, have had tracking. I know we had a situation when I first got on the board. We had an employee who liked to go park and go to sleep or whatever.
Yeah.
And so we started putting tracking in our public works vehicles, and I think that's just slowly spread out through other vehicles in the city. I think it sounded like from our discussion on Tuesday night that everybody, but with the exception of the fire department, has some level of tracking in their vehicles or assets or whatever you want to call them. So, and that's something I think the mayor and the department heads are going to sit down and see if it makes sense, instead of having a contract with the public works and a contract with the fire department, having one contract with all of them. I think that was Mr. Andrews' point.
Yeah, so it will be something that we look at the next meeting. We'll have about 14 days before we can look at that again. And that was honestly like the bulk of the discussion from our November 4th meeting. It was a very, very quick meeting. We did accept a couple of grant awards, $5,000 for the Dickens of a Christmas from the Visit Mississippi grant team, and a $2,500 award from the Visit Mississippi grant team for the Hernando Water Tower 10K and half marathon. So just continued good news there for those two programs. If you like those will be coming up November 22nd weekend.
Just remind me, I want to address something, Ben.
Oh,
so people have probably noticed the fencing around the courthouse.
Oh, yeah, yep.
And I think Robert posted something on Facebook, but that's my area, that's my ward there. So I know there's been some concern with some of the vendors about the. I think there has an open house event this weekend. Obviously, the Dickens of a Christmas is coming up, and that will be in place there for I think till maybe February or so. They are redoing the sidewalks on the outside of the courthouse there for safety reasons, and they waited till after the farmers market to do that, and it's not a good time. I don't think there's ever a good time to have to do construction work there, but. So there was some question about that. Now that is a county project. The city has nothing to do with that. The county, as you know, Ben, administers and manages the courthouse and the parking lot there. So, but there's been some questions about what's going on there, and you know, I think they also did some work with the chiller plant recently. The piping in the road, they redid all the piping, and so that's what's going on. You're going to see a lot of construction there for probably, I think, at least 5 or 6 months, I think. They're also doing some things on the interior of the building, but I think they're starting on the exterior first. So, like I said, there's been some questions and comments about what's going on there. So, put that information out.
Well, there's always, there's two big county projects going on. One is the courthouse, and there's never a good time to do these things, right? Right. There's always going to be Christmas, farmers market, a fair. There's always going to be something. Like it's a hub of activity around there. So we'll have to work as best we can with what we can do. There's definitely ways that we can work around that and still have some of these events.
Yeah, and I always try to be positive. So the thing is, next year you're going to have brand new sidewalks and everything for the farmers market next year, and also the Dickens of a Christmas next year and things like that. So
and if you're from what I understand, it will be much more ADA compliant. It'll be much more handicap accessible. Yes. And so if you have a family member that is in that group of individuals, it can be kind of a pain getting around when you go to the farmers market.
Well, that sidewalk, some of that parts of that sidewalk is in bad shape because roots have grown through it, and it's just old. That sidewalk has probably been there 60, 70 years, probably maybe longer. Yeah,
there's definitely. I'm sure there are people that avoid going to events around the courthouse.
Well, I've seen people trip there, so I know it's needed. So. Yeah. I'm glad to see it's getting done. I just maybe if they had waited another maybe month and a half to do it, but
then you end up it's going into June.
I know you're right.
I mean, it's one of those things. There's always going to be something. Yeah. The other project that's gotten kicked off is the expansion of Commerce Street all the way through to J. Bird Road.
Yes, that's a good. I forgot about that.
That's more adjacent to my ward there, and Supervisor Foster, gave me a shout, let me know that was going to be happening. They've been clearing trees and cutting the road through there. That project will be going on for several months as well. But just getting all that stuff cleared and getting the road bed built and then being able to pave it spring or summer of next year will happen. So if you're on that side of town, if you know what we're talking about, you pass Walmart, you're driving on Commerce Street and it comes to a dead end and you're right there where Della cuts through, and people use that as a cut through off, and there's a speed bump there to slow people down because so many people use it as a cut through. That will cut all the way through to Jaybird Road. It'll be near Commodore Drive, if you know where that is, off Jaybird Road. That's in the county. Again, a huge county project. County project. It's a lot of time.
I know that one's been in the works for a while.
Yeah.
There was some complications with getting all the landowners on board, so I'm glad to see it's fine. I think that's going to help with the traffic flow on Mackinville and Holly Springs and that whole area there. So Mackinville and Commerce, and so.
And you may have noticed there's been changes to that Mackinville Commerce
yes,
intersection.
you have two turn lanes now.
You got 2 turn lanes. If you're coming north on Mackinville from Holly Springs Road, there's now 2 turn lanes. So if you need to continue on Mackinville, get in the far right lanes. That way you can keep going straight. If you're in the two left lanes, you are turning left now. So you want to make sure you're paying attention and working with that. There are like 4 traffic signals there, which I think was maybe some confusion for folks, but there's 4 traffic signals on that part of the intersection. Just, kind of be aware of which lane you're in, so you can take care of that. There's some striping and some paving coming to that part of Mackinville from Commerce down to Holly Springs Road and a little bit beyond that in the springtime. But I think there's some road striping that's happening before that to kind of help out where those lanes are and what goes where.
You got the two new hotels that should be going online sometime in the maybe early spring, late winter there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Home to Suites and I guess the Holiday Inn Express is still under construction there.
I think the Hampton Inn should be up and running for too much longer. If anybody's noticed, the Tractor Supply is really getting going. Yep. I just don't think they're going to make Black Friday, but they're getting it going. So
if they do, I want to shake their hand because that would be really impressive. Even by the end of the year, that would be pretty great accomplishment.
And I heard through the grapevine that Lost Pizza may be opening prior to Thanksgiving. Ooh. So that's a big one for us over my area there. So
there is another business that's coming to town. So next to that Holiday Inn and Suites that they're building, this is on Creekside Boulevard. So if you don't know where that is, if you're going north on Mackinville from Commerce, Creekside is the first road after the Guarantee Bank. They're building the Holiday Inn Express. The next lot over is another business that's moving from South Haven down to Hernando, More Automotive. And they really specialize in kind of working on electrical systems and kind of more detailed automotive work, more so than just being like an oil change place or anything like that. They really do more detailed work. The owner wanted to come down to Hernando because he said that's where more of his employees are. That's where he lives.
Sure.
More of a hometown business coming in there. I think they're going to be hopefully a really great addition to our business community.
Yeah. Well, I think this is his second try to come to Hernando, and I think it's a little better fit. So,
yeah.
I don't know if we've talked about the Chicken Salad Chick and the Marcos.
No, I don't think we. I don't know if we could even talk about that. Somebody told me that was what was going on, but what's going on with that?
Over there in the little shopping center they built. What do you call it? Across from the Toyota.
Yeah, on Mackinville.
That's what 2 of the businesses that's going there is Chicken Salad Chick and Marcos.
That's a done deal.
That's what I've been told, man.
Ooh. Okay. Well, there you go. There's some more.
We like to break the news, man. We like to break the news.
We got more businesses coming in for sure, and this is part of the the ever changing nature of Hernando right now. Is that you have a commercial corridor that had a huge shot in the arm with the addition of a high school and with the addition of the Delta Landing development up there north of town. I think you're going to have some commercial development that happens up that way.
Sure.
There's some infill pieces like we were talking about with these automotive groups and other restaurants that are coming to not on Commerce but kind of just off of Commerce within a few blocks, and it just gives people more options. It gives them more ability. It should help to pull traffic off of Commerce a little bit, and hopefully make that piece of it a little bit better. But yeah, a lot going on right now.
Yeah, a lot of
without a
growth
doubt.
in Hernando. It's just fortunate to be in such a great community.
It is. All right. So next up, we have the November, 18th meeting.
Is that right?
We will have that.
Mm-hmm.
After that, we got Thanksgiving week. Everybody's out of school.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's working. Everybody's doing their stuff for a week, and then we'll be rolling into December. Now, December 1st is the Hernando Christmas Parade, so you want to put that on your schedule. It is on Monday, December 1st. I believe it's at 6 p.m.
Yeah,
It
I
will
am
probably
flying.
be
I am
cold.
flying out of town the next day, and I made it a point to be here. I left on Tuesday instead of Monday so I can ride in the fire truck and throw candy.
Everybody loves it. Everybody loves a good Christmas parade. It's always a huge crowd out for that. Go ahead and mark that down on your calendar.
And I'm just asking for it not to be like 25 degrees, so maybe like 40.
Yeah, what's your rule? Is if it's below your age, then you're out.
Well, when I
or
really was a
something,
big
right?
runner, Ben, and
Yeah.
I've kind of backed off.
Yeah.
But I was running every day no matter what.
Uh-huh.
If it was colder than my age, and I was about 35, 36, 37 at the time, I ran on the treadmill.
Gotcha.
And so that's kind of my rule. But I'm getting older now, so
Yeah.
I got more exclusion days now than I used to.
That's right. I tell you, there's some cold weather coming next week, Monday and Tuesday specifically. It's supposed to get down in the 20s overnight.
Yeah.
It is definitely a changing of seasons. We had great.
Remind people to cover up their faucets outside and kind of do the winterproofing stuff.
All of it, it's coming. It's coming. So I did mention, so we had the Christmas parade December 1st. November 22nd weekend is the Hernando Dickens of a Christmas on the Hernando Square, so you'll want to make sure you come check that out. It kind of kicks off the holiday season. They'll have...
It's not going to be on the courthouse lawn this year.
It will not, but it will be on the square, and we'll have, Panola Street will be closed down, have the lights hanging over, all the fun times, get you some hot chocolate, do some shopping, all the fun stuff. And then the Crew of Hernando Santa Caravan. This is another event that's coming up December 13th, the second Saturday of December. If you're not familiar with that, reach out to a crew member that may have some information on it. But there's families that are adopted that get gifts that are donated to them, and then they cap off the gift drive by doing a Santa Caravan throughout the city, throwing out candy, and Santa rides on the fire truck there at the end of it. So you want to see the big guy in the red suit. Your kids can do that on that Saturday morning. It's always a good fun tradition in Hernando. Good. So definitely a lot of things coming up. It's one of those.
It's that time of year, and before you know it, will be in 2026. So
that's it. What is your? Well, we're going to talk about it next time.
No, go ahead.
I'll go ahead. No, we'll tease it for next time. When we cap off the November 18th meeting, we can talk about our favorite Thanksgiving foods and all this stuff.
Okay. I know mine right away. I know mine.
Hold out. We'll talk about that more next time. We'll cap off our November 18th meeting. I'm not sure what we'll have specifically on that agenda. We'll just have to wait and see. But we will have all your coverage of that and all the other events that are going on in Hernando. But for now, good luck to the Tigers. Take down Oxford. Let's get back here and have a home game.
Yeah.
I got a home playoff game in the second round. I hope we get to see it. But for now, I'm Ward 6 Alderman Ben Piper.
I'm Ward 4 Alderman Chad Wicker. Thank you for listening.
Thanks for listening.